This is What School Didn't Teach Me, a podcast meant to build community on all the things school doesn't prepare you for. Hi, I'm your host, Jasmine Kiamber, and class is in session. Hey, classmates, it's your host, Jasmine Kiamber, and welcome back to another episode of What School Didn't Teach Me. I don't have a word for today. Just know I'm happy that you're here, because I don't have a word for today, and I don't feel like looking one up. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It's been fun, but I'm ready for summer to go. I miss wearing I miss wearing hoodies and sweaters, sweatshirts like this. It's a little hot. It's a lot hot. I can't even drink my tea like I really want to because it's hot. Y'all like my cup? It's K for Camber. It's actually my mom's cup, but K for Camber, okay? I realized I think I have to bring my mic closer because sitting it over here by me does not work anymore. Yeah, sitting it right here instead of bringing it closer to my face is not working anymore. And I think I'm going to have to hold it, but I'll hold it next episode, not this episode. Also, I promise y'all I got shorts on. You know what school really didn't teach us? Why is it so hard to make friends as an adult? At our big grown age, it's probably the hardest time to be out there making friends. And it's so funny that I'm recording this episode today because I literally just shot my friendship shot at somebody this morning, and I'm hoping they don't think I'm a creep. Girl, you were cool, but not that cool. You feel me? And so I feel we've talked about Chucks. Y'all, why did the light on my mic just go out? That just made me mad. What? Okay, anyway. I know we talked about friendships. We've had Reason, Season, and a Lifetime. I've talked to y'all about the transitions that are being made in my life about my friends. Heck, our first episode was literally called The Mom Friend, where we talked about things that you should do to make sure that your relationships are not weighing down on you. But we never talked about what it looks like to make friends as an adult, right? And I realized, when you're in school, K through 12, easy. Not the easiest, but it's easy. Y'all all go to the same school. You walk up to them. You want to be friends. You want to hang out. You want to play dolls. You want to play Barbies. Or not. And it was just like that. And if y'all fell out, y'all fell out. If you feel me, if you had your disagreements, you either worked on them and you didn't. As an adult, it's you got people at work, you got some work friends, but then you also want to make sure you're not blending your work friends with your personal friends, unless they cool like that. You go to church, but you got to find your own community at church. You go to a coffee shop and you might see some people at the coffee shop, but you don't actually go out and talk to them. It's not as easy when we are in survival mode as an adult to make friends. And I feel that's something that we need to talk about more, because it should not be awkward. It shouldn't be awkward for us to go and ask people hey, do you want to be friends? Do you want to hang out? Do you want to talk more? Do you want to send memes to each other? That should not be such a agonizing, uncomfortable process for us. So today's episode is called How to Make a Friend. But I don't just want to hit on the introductory, how to make friends, the hey, hi, hello part about friendship. I want to talk about how to keep your friends. So I guess that should be the name of this episode, how to keep your friends. Because we're adults, we might be making new friends, but then we still might be stewarding some relationships that happened when we were in high school, when we were middle school, elementary school, friendships that started before we got a chance to really develop and get to know ourselves for us. You feel me? And as we continue to grow and change, so do those relationships. And some of those relationships you might want to keep, some of those relationships you might not want to. I want to talk to you about how you can keep the relationships that you have. So my mom always taught me this thing, because I grew up as an only child, and so reciprocity, like I didn't have siblings, and so I never had to share, or there were certain things that I just did not have to learn how to do. There were things that I knew how to do because I've always been a friendly kid. I've loved having friends. I didn't always love being around people, but I loved having friends and being around community. But there are just some things that I did not have to do because nobody was going home with me. Like, I never had to share my toys on a regular basis, or I never had to worry about somebody like digging in my plate, you feel me, for my food, or like, you know, and there were some things I never had to worry about. And so when I went out into the real world and dealt with those things, my reactions were not kind. My reactions were not civil. And so my mom will always tell me, to have a friend, you have to be a friend. And that is something that I have had to use to encourage myself in my friendships, even as an adult, right? Like, okay, I realize that when I like talk around in circles, it sounds like I'm talking around in circles. So I'm just tell you the real. I'm gonna just tell you about me. I enjoy being on FaceTime with my friends. I do. But on my terms, almost. And I know that's a selfish thing to say, and I'm working on it, because to have a friend, you have to be a friend. But I find that, like, people, when I am not ready to be on the phone, I am, like, when I'm not mentally prepared to be on the phone, I am not prepared to be on the phone. Like, you have to be a certain someone to call me out of the blue and me not feel like, oh, I got to be ready to talk. I got to be ready to, you know, like, you've got to be a special someone for me to, like, get on the phone and not feel ready to be, and I hate to say it like this, waited. Meanwhile, you're interrupting me while I'm watching White Collar. I'm laying in bed with my stuffed animal, and we're cuddling, like, we're good, and I just got a phone call. You feel me? But when I want to be on the phone, I want to have people to call, right? Which means I have to be the friend. Like, to have a friend, I have to be a friend. I got to pick up the phone sometimes. Or I got to, like, you know, set the right boundaries. Like, hey, can you text before you call? Or XYZ, hey, you know, I can call you in like 30 minutes, but right now I ain't got it. You know, set the right boundaries, but also to have a friend, you have to be a friend. Sometimes I got to answer the phone because Lord knows why they're calling, right? I gotta answer the phone, even if I'm only on the phone for 30 minutes, which usually never happens. I usually end up being on the phone for hours. But it's like, even if I'm only on the phone for a certain amount of time, if I expect somebody to answer my calls, then I gotta answer their calls too. You feel me? It's the same when you expect somebody to show up for you. If I want my friends to show up for, let's say one day I have a podcast premiere party. Let's say, if I expect my friends to show up, I got to show up to their album release party. I got to show up to their brand release. I got to show up when they have a new job. Like, you have to show up for people if you want to be shown up for, right? And I think a lot of times we forget that there is a world outside of us, and that our actions have our actions affect the people around us. I think we forget that. Like, I honestly think social media has made us forget that our actions have consequences, and that the people on the other side of the and that the people on the other side of the phone are like actual people. I really, really do. And so I don't think that just exists in social media. I think that exists in our real life too, that we think like, oh, I'm just finna drop this bomb and everybody's gonna be fine. Like, it really don't even matter. Everybody's life is gonna continue to go on. It's like, no, when you drop that bomb, you gotta drop an explanation. But then also, sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and do what people are requiring of you as a friend. You feel me? Yeah. So to have a friend, you have to be a friend. And if you feel like, okay, you know, I'm doing it, I'm pouring into people, I'm picking up the phone when people call, I'm supporting them every time they have a new accomplishment, I am the friend that I want to see, but my friends are not the friends I need, then, and you've already had, we go through the basics. You've already had a conversation with them. You've already tried to talk it out with them. You've expressed your needs to them and they're still not getting met. That's okay, because you're the friend you want to see. What you put into this world, you will get back. So start praying for some new friends. I know y'all remember me saying that in Reason, Season, and a Lifetime. Start praying for some new friends. And I guarantee you, God will give you the friends that you are asking for because you are doing that for other people. But that also means you need to let go of the friends that are not serving you well. Which brings me to my next point. It's okay to outgrow friends. It happens. A lot of us got friends that we've had since high school, middle school, elementary school, and we keep them around because we've been friends so long, because we have so much loyalty towards each other, because you see me at my lowest and at my worst and you still loved me. Cool. But are they growing with you? Are they, when you need a friend, are they on your call list? Because if not, they dead weight. I hate to say it, but it's true. Dang, that's crazy, but it's true. That's a Future song, if you didn't know. But it's true. Like, we hold a lot of loyalty for relationships that have a lot of longevity. Friendships, boo things, family. We continue to let people be toxic towards us because, well, that's just how they are. Well, they're just having a tough time. They'll get through it. Well, we've been friends so long. Well, back in 2006, they lent me their jacket and I'm forever indebted because I was super cold that day. Like, we just hold a lot of loyalty for people that we outgrow, and it really, really holds us back. Like, then we start getting mad because we already know who that person is. We already know that they're not going to come through when we call. We already know that when we talk, they're not going to listen. We already know that they are not the friends that we need to take us to the next level. But then we get mad. We get mad at God. We get mad at them. We get mad at whatever. We get mad at the world and take it out on other people. Like, oh yeah, real friends just don't exist nowadays. People are fake. X, Y, Z. No, you've got bad friends and you don't want to let them go. Because you can't face the fact that you've outgrown them. It's okay to outgrow people. It happens. It happens. A lot of times you can't even make it to the next step, the next phase, the next part, the next elevation in life, because you're still holding on to people who aren't supposed to be on your journey in the first place. Hold on, I'm about to go get my Bible because there is a scripture that goes with this. Okay, I think I found it, and I never want to misquote the Bible, so because I've done that before on the podcast. Oh my gosh, and I just cringe every time I hear it. But this is my Bible. Hold on. This is my Bible. Ain't she cute? Okay, so boom. I know we heard about Father Abraham. He had many sons. I'm one of them, so are you. But like, before Abraham was Abraham, he was Abram. And before he became a father of many nations, he was just a really, really old man who was traveling with his nephew. In Genesis 12, because this is all in the beginning of the Bible. Okay, this is like first and foremost. In Genesis 12, we get introduced to Abram. The Lord has told him he's going to be a father of many nations, and he's moving from wherever he lives to Egypt because there's a famine in his land. Cool. He's there with his nephew Lot, and for whatever reason, like, they keep getting into arguments. Like, they are supposed to be traveling together to the promise to Egypt, but they keep getting into arguments. So in Genesis 13, they decide, like, okay, me and you, we're gonna go our separate ways. Like, it's no reason for us to be fighting. Let's just separate. Let me see. Okay, so boom. Genesis 13:8. So Abram said to Lot, let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go left, I'll go right. And if you go right, I'll go left. Okay, we We don't even have to be together, okay? You get your blessing, I'll get mine. So they go their separate ways. Lot goes to Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Lot goes to Sodom and Gomorrah, and Abraham goes to like Canaan. And if you know, like Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot ends up getting captured. Sodom and Gomorrah ends up getting destroyed, and Abraham, his whole family line ends up going to the promised land. Like he doesn't go to the promised land because he like ends up dying, but it's like he was praying for a son. Abraham was praying for a son. He had been praying for a son for years, and at 99 years old he finally had one. Then he was ready to sacrifice his son, but that's a whole nother story. He could not receive certain blessings until he got rid of Lot. Now I don't know what was going on between him and Lot, and I don't know why they could not commune together, but it's like sometimes you can't go to the next place. Sometimes you can't reach your next blessing because of the people that you're with. So it's okay to like let go of people. Like if you and the people that you're around are no longer seeing eye to eye, you're no longer doing the same things, you feel like you're going left and they're going right, it's okay to not associate with them anymore. Like, yeah, like I have it's hard to talk about my life because my community listens to the podcast, but it's like I have people around me who just don't. I have some things in my life that I'm trying to unlearn, right? I'm trying to work on how I talk about money. We talked about that in unlearning certain habits. I talked to y'all about that. I'm trying to work on my mindset around money and just the language that I use around money. I'm trying to work on the language that I use around just my current situation and like how God has, like the season that God has me in. I don't enjoy being around people who talk down about money talk, or like who are always speaking poverty over themselves, or who are always, who talk about what they like instead of what they have. I cannot be around that because it pulls me back into a place that I don't like to be in. Then that's a conversation I need to have. Like, if I'm around somebody like that and it's not working for me anymore, then I've officially outgrown them. And it's okay for me to not be associating with somebody who does not indulge in the things that I indulge in. If I was a person who did not drink, and I don't even want to be around people who drink because, when I was drinking, it just made me uncomfortable. I'm trying to stop. I want the people around me to encourage me to stop. And I got a friend who's constantly telling me to take shots and sip this thing and we're not on the same page anymore. And I'm not saying like cut somebody off because they don't understand you. No. I'm saying that if you've had conversations with people about what you're trying to do with your life and they constantly give you a bad feeling, loyalty does not matter. You should not be around them, because at that point you are risking your own purpose. You're delaying your own purpose. That's what I've realized. I've realized when we choose our way instead of God's, we're really delaying our purpose. When we keep people around who aren't supposed to be around, we're delaying our purpose. When we are holding on to things that we need to let go of, we are delaying our purpose. Like, at the end of the day, God's will is going to be done. Why? And he already takes his precious time. Like, no offense, but it's like he already takes his precious time. Why would you even play a part in delaying your own process? You feel me? I say all that to say, if there is somebody in your life that isn't supposed to be there, oh dog, that just made me feel like a hypocrite. This message is for me. If there's somebody in your life who is not supposed to be there, it's okay to start taking those steps back. And I'll be honest, I don't know, like, I don't think everything is supposed to be like this big grand gesture of, yeah, I don't mess with you no more, or yeah, like I don't really want to be friends with you no more. But it is admittedly awkward when you create distance between you and people that you used to be super cool with. It is awkward. I'm not even gonna act like I'm not even gonna act like it's just super easy to just not talk to people and to drop people off like they were never a big part of your life. Like, no, I'm not even playing like that. I'm just saying that it's essential. And I wish I could give better advice on how to navigate that awkward stage or that distance stage, but I'm not good at it. I'll be honest. I'm not. Which is why this message is actually for me as well, because I have people in my life that I have outgrown and I need to take 2 steps back from, you know? On that same note and on that same token, just like it's okay to distance yourself from people whose lives no longer align with yours, or whose mindset, actions, whatever might be bringing you down or holding you back, it's okay to invite your friends to your level, to your new way of thinking, to your personal development journey, to your spiritual journey. It's okay to invite them into that new part of you, because it's one thing to feel like you have to cut somebody off. Like, okay, we not working no more. Like, we just can't be around each other no more. It does not work. It's another thing for a relationship to be salvageable. A lot of our, like, my best friend since high school. Hey, Courtney. I have a best friend since high school. Her name is Courtney. All my friends know about her because she my A1 date one. She and we went to high school together, so she see me at my absolute ugliest. Okay, she see me at my worst. She see me through the worst heartbreak. She see me through when I was like literally tweaking all the time. She see me through depressions. Like, she has been there, so she knows a whole lot about who I used to be. But I'm still trying to figure out who I am right now, and I'm constantly doing new things to figure out who I am. That and while, you know, like, we talk all the time, so like she gets to see, we get to have conversations about that growth. She might not get to see it every day. I might have new interests that she might not know about. I might have, you know, new interests that she might not know about. And I might now be interested in things that we've never talked about, or that she might not particularly be interested in right off the bat. And I found that, like, I need different friends for different things. That's my own lesson. I know that I need different friends for different things. You know, I have friends, which, interestingly enough, all of my friends like similar things. We just do different things together. Like, you know, I have a friend that I go to poetry clubs with. I have a friend that we go hiking and ride bikes together. I have a friend who, like, I know I can call on them when I want to try something new. But I want to be able to share those experiences with Courtney. I'm just using Courtney as an example, but like, this applies to any one of my friends. I want to be able to share those experiences with Courtney, because otherwise our relationship is going to be stagnant. She's going to be stuck at the level that she last saw me at, and I'm going to be stuck at the last level. What? Yeah. And I'm going to be stuck at the level that I saw her at last. I hope I'm making sense. Like, if the last time I saw her was in July, I'm stuck with the July version of her, and she might be different by August. You get what I'm saying? Instead of me now excluding her from the things that I like, I should invite her into the things that I like. I think we should not assume what our friends like or dislike or would be willing to do and are not willing to do based on what they've previously said. Like, if they set a certain boundary, like, I know for a fact Courtney don't drink, so when there's alcohol in the area, I'm not offering it to her. You feel me? But it's like, oh, okay, if I wanted to go on a hike, okay, well, Courtney's never expressed that she likes walking or hiking before, but I might invite her anyway, because that's something that I like to do. I don't want to limit her to what I last heard from her. No, I want to invite her into the new things that I like to do. If she don't like that, that's fine. I like to do arts and crafts now. Can I invite her to my arts and crafts? You kind of get where I'm going with this. Like, it's okay to invite your long-term friends, your friends, we've been friends for since kindergarten. We've been friends since 5th grade into your new interests, you know? I remember in school, like, I know that this is particularly hard in school, right? Like, I think we get the idea that we have to keep friends separate in school. Like, I never played sports in school, but if my friends are, if I have my A1 day ones, my day one group of friends, we've been friends since 9th grade, freshman year. Okay. You know, we already know what we like to do. We already know what we like to talk about. We already know how we bond and get along. But let's say I join the soccer team, and now all me and my soccer friends like to do is talk about soccer. I know in school or growing up, it's like, oh, it's hard to mesh these two groups together because the soccer people want to talk about soccer, and my freshman group, my A1 day ones, well, they want to talk about what they want to talk about. And so we get older and we think that we need to, like, we get older and we start to count other people out because it's like, oh no, well, I just assumed that you wouldn't like this or that because we've never done that before. Well, the relationship will never grow if you never do new things, right? So just like it's okay to like have certain conversations with people and see if your lives still align, it's okay to now invite the friends that you already have, the people you already love, into your new life. I had to learn, like, there was a point in my life where I was constantly praying for new friends. I had no regard for the friends that I currently had because I felt like no cap. I'm not gonna cap. I felt like they all were a burden. Like, I felt like everybody was always calling me because they wanted something. Most of the times that something was a listening ear, but even then, that's a lot. So there was a time where I constantly was asking God, please give me new friends. Please give me friends that I don't have to just always be the listening ear for. Please give me friends that, you know, can go outside with me when I want to go outside. Please give me friends that like nature. Please give me friends that like physical activity. Please give me friends that love you. Like, I needed people who were not in the light that I saw my current friends in, right? And while God did grant me with some new friends, he did not grant me with a lot of new friends. Instead, he did, however, grant me with a lot of new interest. He helped me get to know myself more. He helped me to spend more time with myself, to find my own interest, to invest in myself a little more. And that was encouragement for me to, of course, invite my new friends to what I now like to do, but also to include my OGs. Also to continue to nourish, that's the word I want to use, to continue to nourish the relationships that I already had, to continue to allow them to grow and give them the space to grow. Because sometimes our friendships aren't growing because we're literally doing the same old thing. Nobody's showing an interest in a new thing because we're all doing the things we're used to doing. And that just goes back to be the friend that you want to see, right? Like, to have a friend, you have to be a friend. If you want to do new things, you've got to present new ideas. You've got to execute new hangouts. You've got to make it clear what you like to do and how you want to shape your friendships. Now, that's much easier to do when you have like brand new friends. Like, going back to like what we were talking about at the very beginning of the episode, that's so easy to do when you have new friends because y'all can just do whatever. Y'all can meet at a coffee shop and then go on a hike right after that. Okay, cool. It's a little harder to do when you have friends that you've like been growing up with, because again, they only see you in a certain light, but it doesn't have to be that way. You don't need like a brand new you don't need a brand new gang of friends. You don't need to scrap the friends that you already have. You might just need to nourish the relationships that you already have. You might just need to pour more into the relationships you already have and just test the waters. See if those people are receptive to the new you. See if those people are receptive to your growth. You will be surprised, or at least I know I was. Like, we're gonna have an episode about like what it looks like to work things and talk things out with friends, but it's like when I took the time to have the hard conversations with the people around me about the changes I needed in a relationship when I started talking to my friends like, hey, I feel like when we talk, you only talking about you. We ain't talking about me. And when we are talking about me, you ain't listening. When I started to have those conversations with them, I actually started to see results. I did not have to cut them off. I actually started to see them be like, okay, well, how are you? Well, let's talk about you. Well, let's go back to what you were saying. And that gave me space, room, and energy to now be more receptive to when they wanted to talk to me. I cannot say it enough. Like, I'm grateful to my friends for also having a growth mindset and not being stuck in their ways or stubborn, because it's allowed us to grow. When I've had the hard conversations and told my friends, hey, I feel like we do the same old, it's really making it hard for me to hang out with you. Like, I feel like I just need more from you here, or this is what I like to do and I would love to be able to do those things together. I'm kind of getting bored with what we used to do. I was surprised by how receptive people were. Like, oh, heck yeah, I'm so into that. You know what? I'm bored of this too. This is also what I like to do now. Like, we have to give each other the space to grow before we outgrow. You know, like, we have to give each other the space to grow in our relationships before we decide this is no longer working. I need something else. Yeah. That was good. Honestly, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to talk to you about how you can continue to nurture your friendships, nurture your relationships, how it's okay to outgrow people, but it's also okay to keep people around if they're growing with you, right? And to be supportive. Like, really, please be the friend you want to see. Because I'm not gonna cap, y'all. Sometimes we be wondering why nobody wants to hang out with us, and wondering like why people don't show up for us the way we really want them to. And it's because we don't show up for them. It's because we don't answer their phone call. It's because when they want to talk, we talk about ourselves. Like, that is so. Sometimes we don't have friends because we not good friends. So let's start being good friends. Yeah, that's it. I love y'all. Please stay cool out there because it's hot as mess. Okay. And if you're using sunscreen, and if you're not using sunscreen, use sunscreen. And if you're looking for a sunscreen alternative, y'all, I've been using coconut oil and it's been working. Keeping the body glistening and the skin even toned. Okay. So yeah, that was it. I love y'all. Go out. Have great friendships. Have great relationships. Continue to learn about yourself and invest in yourself. Okay. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all next week.